Okay, here we go.
Yo,
Here we are. How are
Brandon,
you?
man, I'm glad that I caught you. We got connection out there. You got time. It was like last minute, but I'm glad you're here. I want to just start recording right away if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, cool. Let me turn up
Nothing
my
to it
volume
but to
real
do
quick.
it, right? Mission
Yeah, dude,
impossible.
I'm excited to have you here. You've been a friend of mine for like a long time on social media here. And I had a couple channels before this, and Brandon here has been like mutual support for a while. I've loved following him. I've talked to Brandon a few times and got a little bit of his story here and there, and just like myself, like did this what a lot of us have been through. Sometimes that people don't understand the kind of anger that's behind who we got to be every day, and I know Brandon feels that. And thank you for being here, Brandon. Um, real quick, I want to say it's Angel, Brandon Angel Fitness.
Yeah,
The tag. Okay, I'm gonna share the Instagram here in a minute. But how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing strong, man. We came here to get strong. That's the one message I take from this excellent holodeck training module for our souls, full of incredible challenges. Super challenges mean you get to be a Jedi, right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that,
Yeah.
dude.
Everything here for me now is just an opportunity to build strength and character, right? There's just so many strong trees out here at the top of the hill that have a lot of wind, but you notice is those areas with a lot of character that really spreads, and then there's a lot of happy life and memories made that really matter, right?
Yes, sir. Dude, it's so cool to see you. And I think maybe we've hardly like we've sent voice messages back and forth, and I think that's really the most converse. Even though we've messaged a lot, we sent voice messages a lot for like 3 years now. And I'm so glad that I get to keep in touch with some of you guys, and we've transferred over. I restarted a new page, a different strategy, and I needed some introspection and redirection, and that's what's going on here. Brandon hopped right in as like one of my first 2 or 3 followers, and
Well,
um and
it's
and
been very interesting. Yeah, it's a super cool experience. I would have never expected coming from a very natural experience to the internet experience and then being able to watch you and your honesty from the start and you seeing things that nobody else saw way earlier and being courageous and outright. So I've been able to really
yeah.
watch this Jedi trajectory that you've had and then you disappeared and then you came back laser focused in, dude. Like it's been very impressive and awesome to get to have this experience with you. And I know there's a small little network of us that came through the dream catcher, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we met like part of and not to give too much attention to it, but we met a part of wanting to help figure out like how can we help people's lives get better? How do we use social media for that? We came across Wes Watson, and dude, like super motivational. He's obviously, was doing something where he's connecting a lot of people. He's getting people to turn away from substances, turn towards strength, come together, talk to each other, and a lot of that stuff was very attractive. Unfortunately, to keep it brief in the long run, all that stuff kind of like spiraled out of control. But I met so many, I'm so grateful. I met so many great guys through there that have stuck
Well,
around. We've
yeah,
had
definitely.
relationships.
I mean, moving right along, just to put the cherry on the top of that, and move right along too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really excellent example of a narcissist with an excellent mask, and that we're all evil people. All of us are evil. We're human beings. We should know this about ourselves that we're fighting day, tooth, and nail. Some of us are winning more than others to have this character, in my opinion, that I started talking about, right? And follow Jesus and really, truly do some miraculous, bright stuff in this lifetime that extremely shines through. Unfortunately, most people miss that call. Some people really see the opportunity to fool everybody being this genuine thing, and some people do an incredibly excellent job at it. And all these good things, even when they're part of a deceptive mask that you can get out and do as evil people at whatever degree, you can see that it's really, really important and special and can become something. All this stuff grows.
Yeah. It is, and it could be easy. You know, we're made in the image of God, but we're here. We have a test. We have a challenge. We're not forced to love. That's one of the biggest things I've realized about turning to God is nobody wants to be forced into loving anybody. And so God doesn't do
Ooh,
that to us. He gives us a choice, but we're down here, we're the devil's in the world. And if you don't pay attention, if you're not turning to God or making the conscious decision not to go towards that evil way of material, living the life of the snake, the devil with your belly in the dirt, we have
and
that
I like what you
opportunity.
were saying. I like what you were saying about control. Like what I'm learning is there's control freaks and there's cultivators. And some of us extreme cultivators, we got no time for control freaks, no patience whatsoever for that. It's
Yeah, and
abusive,
it's
it's unnecessary, and it's evil. It's on the negative end of the spectrum, no doubt.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
as I
dark.
kind of realize, I come to a realization about my own testimony because when we tell our own story, that's what's going to help compel others. And when I say that's one of the deepest things, and you can see right there, right in front of us, before we go deep into the Bible or deep into all kinds of different things, is we're not. God decided He's humble not to control us and force us to do anything. You know, He didn't
Yeah.
force us to love, and then so
In, in
that's a pretty big lesson.
Yeah, and I would go as far as to say that it's through true freedom that you will get your sharpest edge. You know,
Mhm.
it's through breaking out of the trap and getting true absolute freedom and having nothing but genuine, authentic, deep, rich experience one after the next. That's living, man. I'm so blessed to have that life, and I'm just looking back. And I'm just like, yo, 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 right? But you can't tell the entitled geniuses everywhere really nothing. There's got to be that rich experience, that tumble, that matrix jump, that face your fears. The magic is exactly in the work that you don't want to do. Confrontationalism and strength, strength. You know, you've got to build that strength. And then once you build that strength, then you've got the opportunity to build incredible character. But if you're an entitled genius, how are you going to learn from any other excuse me, excellent character? So it
Yeah,
obviously doesn't work like that, right? You're going to
yeah.
get
People
stuck in the
come.
worm camp forever, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Then, and I want to say too, because it's man, it's going to be tough. I get tears in my eyes with every podcast already, but it's important, and it sucks for me to relive a lot of my stuff. It sucks for me to be in the headspace, and the part of it's painful to connect with others and talk about things that are painful for you too. And
Yeah, man.
but I think it's beneficial that we're doing it. There's multiple guys coming together and it's growing and growing. And Brandon does it on his own platform. He's been doing it in amazing ways that I want to shine a light on today and talk about it. But I want to thank you for being here. And I know how hard it is to talk about any of this stuff. And you can talk about as little or as much as you want, but and it's good to have a
Well,
story,
well, well.
you know.
So yeah. Let me just jump right into it. Actually, here's what
Sure.
I can offer. I do this nutritional diversity diet thing
Yeah.
to cure PTSD. Some of us are going to lose our kids. You know what I mean? Some of us have had PTSD and we didn't know it because we had toxic families, right? And then when it's a compoundment of that kind of damage, now you're actually looking at neurological damage. And so, yeah, I definitely wanted to kill a whole bunch of people every day, all day long. And I moved out to nature and I didn't kill anyone. I didn't hurt any soul ever. In fact, I could almost call myself a professional swallower. I know you keep it really appropriate. And so I really respect you, bro. So I'm going to
Yeah.
try to not let the atmospheric cutting laser beams come out of my eyeballs,
I get
right?
it. I get it.
Because what happens is you're living in this world where they call this parental alienation, like whatever that is. It's seriously dark, brainwashing and kidnapping. When me and my kid were 10 years old, there's 100 witnesses will tell you right now, we brought a tear to everybody's eyes together. I had to fight for that kid. I served honorably and did excellently during that service in the United States Navy, even though they were effing with me while I was deployed all the time, you know what I mean? And all that kind of thing. These witches, they want to use children to mess up superstars who reject them. You know what I mean? And that is dark. That is horrible child abuse, and that is unacceptable. It's not, oh, parental conflict, parental alienation, da da da. No, if they're denying contact, that's kidnapping and brainwashing, and they're doing it for really stupid, petty, child abusive reasons. And plenty of people want to do, I promise you, I wanted to kill them for child abuse more than they wanted to do the child abuse. I promise you. But I didn't do
Yeah.
it. I did insane things to not do it. And I found insane answers to these problems. And I've been able to build insane strength. It's a parent's worst nightmare. Like I said, if you're, especially with the princess, and nobody else is ever going to know, but because it's too much for their senses. Even you can't imagine that someone takes your 10-year-old princess and they can't stop saying my daddy this and my daddy that. I had sprained my wrist right before this. She wrapped her wrist just so I didn't have to be the only one with the wrapped wrist every day, her and her best friend. And then there was 50 other kids I used to stuff into my car and take them every time I got my little bit of time with my kid. We'd be beaching and Chuck E. Cheese and all that kind of stuff, right? And all these kids did, they
Yeah.
wanted me as their dad. But this child has this whole, it's not, this kid's not my kid. She's been robbed right out of her body. It's his brutal enmeshment witchcraft. I have the same to say as David Goggins. They became the same person. And she's a perfectly crafted weapon to try to continuously hurt me. And I never thought that I would ever build the strength internally to be able to deal with that and still knock it out of the park. You know, I never thought it would be this hard either. You know,
I want to say with you real quick too. I agree, and you made a really good point. The word parental alienation. That is a that's just it's helpful, but it's a very topical thing. When you if you really look at it, how Brandon just went in through all these other descriptors that are way more evil, way more deep, psychotic. It's extreme psychological abuse to the parent and the child. It is extreme. This is taken too lightly
extreme.
out there. Most people think, oh, you see your kids on weekends, and it's your brother, and it's your cousin, it's your coworker, it's your best friend you grew up with. Sometimes it's your son. I dealt with that. I had a horrible mother, but they look over it, and really it's
Yeah,
like, oh, it's not just, hey, I lost in court. I see my kids on weekends. It's normal. You want to go get a beer or something? It's like this is extremely horrible psychological abuse to children and the parent that are missing them. Most of the time, it's fathers, and we're pointed out that way because we're men. It's easy to point the finger at men and say they're violent. It's money making is a huge part of it. It's huge, but it's also like a social engineering aspect because people that want to hurt kids, you have to, even if it's psychological abuse, if the kid is, God forbid, not ever assaulted, which that's the biggest way for that to happen to them is to get their father out of their life. But when you remove the protector, then you form the kids into whatever you want, and the men are the protectors, and that's how they're taking down the whole country from the inside, from inside of our own homes. So but I want you to continue. I just wanted to agree with what you said about the word parental alienation is paper thin. It's way bigger than that.
yeah. And well,
That's right.
actually, what you just said brings out a very is. In my particular case, she made everything as difficult as she possibly could have the whole entire time because she was pissed that I wasn't with her anymore. And I kept building these buildings and having these nice cars and motorcycles. And my kid would come back and tell stories. And, that she's got a mundane Jerry Springer life because that's her character. That's why I started with that. that's really everything. Your character is king in this game of life, and getting strong and taking on all challenges as opportunities to build strength. And in this
Yeah.
particular case, she just filed over and over and over for more money, got less. It's not almost 50 cents over this kid's situation with that whole thing. And for me, I actually really fought and filed left and right to protect my rights. It wasn't until she got this new rich husband under her thumb that didn't know that this another Jerry Springer person who, without ever seeing me in the flesh, is 6 months with this girl. His ex-wife is calling me saying, do these people, does my ex have a drug problem, thinking they're all methed out? I found out I hate drugs. I've always hated drugs. So people are going to keep that a secret from me. And it turns out this manipulator who had the kid with me to set me up and trap me. And then when I finally said, okay, I can't deal with your psychotic ass, right? And then she actually started using the kid in every way she can. And I just said, hey, whatever, I'll pay 30 grand to the lawyers every year and just knock it out of the park. Let's go, bring it on, right? But when this is what's crazy, bro, when my family member was murdered by someone who lost his kids in family court and went on a killing spree on the cover of Playboy magazine, Dateline special. You wouldn't believe this shit, dude, but it's real, right? Anyway, that guy went and killed people. He lost his kids and went and killed a whole bunch of people. He killed the whole
Yeah.
family and the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
I actually, dude, in one country, they call me the shovel punisher, bro. I was literally out there, ruminator, attacking me every single night and day. You know about it. Everybody who's going through this knows about it. You know what I mean? Out there
Yeah.
in the middle of the jungle with a shovel, just trying to keep my cabin cool and try to do my it's
Yeah.
psycho, bro. Yeah, I kind of went on a thing there, but I think the important
You're good.
part that I was
You're
getting at
okay.
is they will do what they can do. And if the opportunity falls in their lap to do something vicious, they'll take that
Yeah.
opportunity. And it's only with the system, the government system, the way it is, and some sucker rich husband that's funding this abuse, or some sucker Jerry Springer family that's all coming together. But now you've got this hero that attracted a parasite is being brought down by a witch and a whole band of flying monkeys the whole damn time, and they're lying on the man's name, and he's the super dad, honorable hero of war and all this shit, and they just reverse it all. It's ridiculous. It's dark as nails.
The psychology that comes in with, like, say, the next guy, I notice, and I'm getting like kind of better at articulating, is even if dad's a good dad, when mom's there, they're in a position where they'll settle with someone quicker, and they'll accept someone who settles with them quicker because of the position that they're in. And when the next boyfriend, or even the next husband comes in, the females manipulate that, because when they get sex, they feel wanted. And then one of the biggest things is when they turn dad into a villain, then the new boyfriend feels like it's a natural male thing. He feels like he's protecting somebody. And so they ignore all the evidence, they ignore all the
Yeah,
truth,
sure,
they
but
ignore everything that's going wrong, and they go
yeah,
for it.
sure, but in
Go
this
ahead.
particular case, it's like this.
Okay.
I could definitely get some Jerry Springer people together. I definitely have some Jerry Springer people in my family, and I could get them
Yeah.
all under my wing, and we could weaponize a little kid, no problem. It won't take me
Yeah.
no time at all, no time at all to pull that operation off. What's very
Right.
unfortunate is that someone's pulling off that operation, and this kid has had the entire time mansions to live in. She could have played the part in an incredible story, at least been able to learn new languages, come surf, do this whole thing down here. Dad wouldn't have been run through the mud all the whole time, and they would have had this excellent relationship, and everybody could have came behind that and helped benefit that. But no, the truth of the matter is, this guy was pulling the weight for ridiculous amounts of stuff, dealing with a psycho the entire time, completely criminal behavior. Criminal behavior.
Mhm.
No man should be able to go through have someone just continuously do this to them and weaponize their kid and commit child abuse and cause all these problems over and over and over. Let's go back to court. Let me just cost you money. Let me just run you through every kind of ringer. That's criminal. you're actually like just like enslaving and destroying a man, and you're using an innocent kid to do it. Then they're going to
Yeah.
call it parental alienation and tell me that I'm too scary in the way that I, no, man, you know what I mean? If this was 100 years ago, we would be burning Amber Heard at the stake. You know what I mean? This has become
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I understand.
insanely in the right in the same place where it went
Mhm.
down. I thought for sure my kid would snap out of it with that one. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
nope.
I want to, and again, I brought this up in the beginning, but I gotta say thank you because it is not easy to get into these feelings that we have talking about this. It's tough for me to do it myself. It's tough for me to do it with these other guys because my feeling is matching. And then what Brandon and everybody else who shows up here to really have respect for this podcast setting or these interviews because we're trying to help others. We're trying to get through 1 hour at a time every day for life. It's difficult. So I got to say thank you and pay respects and ask the audience to understand
Likewise.
like what's happening here when Brandon has to relive any of these stories, tell any of these experiences. It's not, it's a, I will feel drained after this. I'm sure Brandon will too, but we have things that
Yeah.
we turn to. I get drained after these. Like I have to go take a break
Yeah. Oh, bro.
and I'm listening to somebody else. I am physically, my spirit is drained after doing these, during doing these. But what also is a huge part of this and why I'm so thankful to have Brandon here is the things that he's going to do today, after this, tomorrow, the things that I'm going to do that are habits that we choose to take control of this and take control of our body is something we're going to listen to Brandon talk about because it's something he's learned and is grinding on and just really perfecting every day to do for himself, and he does it for others. He's a coach. He's not just a fitness coach. He's helping people the same way that I see that guys like us that he's told a story about us some but dudes that snap, and it's very very hard not to go do all that because it's a part of our DNA to want to behave that way. But this type of control is to me the thing I respect the most when men are going through the worst, and men have that power to be able to do these things. And I want Brandon to share. We're gonna all of his links will be here. I'm gonna share if I get it in this video or not. I'll still edit it in. Brandon's we'll probably just visit it in a second. Brandon's Instagram. He's got a YouTube. I think he's got several YouTubes that he's sharing a story on. If not, that's just the one. But I'm going to link everything
Yeah, I've got
to get a hold of
oh, yeah,
Brandon
I've
for
got
coaching.
supplements. We've got good, powerful supplements, actually, all natural, more coming down the line.
Brandon's been an
We'll talk
entrepreneur.
later.
Yeah, Brandon's an entrepreneur. No, you can tell. Well, you can. I want to hear all about it. But Brandon's an entrepreneur. He's one of the hardest working dudes I've seen. He's got experience that could fill books and books of what he's done for physical work, what he's done for service, what he's done as a father, and what he's doing for other people right now. He's meeting people and they're doing like I've seen him doing burpees on Zoom calls with tons of other guys there in the video talking and doing working out because I don't see the fitness industry as a competition where we got to get to a place where it's like I don't want to talk about him being a coach because it's going to get in the way of me. No, there's millions of people out there and there's tons of people that need to talk to Brandon because of who Brandon is and how he will be able to lead them in ways that I can't, in ways that the next guy can't. So I want to promote all of these. I'll put his links there to get a hold of him, to support him.
Yeah,
Please, yeah,
and
let
and I
others
have the
do tell
perfect
him.
cut in. Yeah, I have the perfect cut in. So what I'm learning from nature is actually we really do operate best as small, tight, elite moving units like packs, right? Human beings. And we should have that, 10 to 13 guys or whatever, where we're real tight. We really take care of business. We respect each other's women. We respect each other in all the different ways and senses. And there's like very dynamic, rich, high character building situation from day one. I am so super fortunate to have been in something that was close enough to that, to what I was saying, that you
Yeah,
could see what I'm saying, right? And now I just want to cultivate what I'm saying because it's obviously what's needed. So really, all of us, we need to learn. It's not too many people behind one guy anymore. It's not this huge
yeah,
pyramid structure. It's let's pick 10 guys and it's us against the world right now because that's the only way you're going to really be able to take care of yourselves. This other thing is this labor leveraging scam that is so extreme. If you could see its volume in some sort of angelic video game meter of some kind, you would be
yeah.
like, whoa, what the hell am I doing? You know?
Excuse me, but
So yeah,
no, it gets me with these interviews. Like I said, it is draining. I learned really quick, and I just started. I make reels, on the American Fathers page, and those kind of bother me. I can only do so many a day, especially the one I just posted right before this today on Saturday, April 29th. For anybody that sees this, want to scroll down, but then the interviews and the conversations behind even before I get to the interviews. And I've been talking to Brandon, and his stories hit me in the heart. For it was like 3 years ago that we even started talking, and I knew we talked about it right away. But Brandon talks to
yeah.
people. Doing an interview is a big deal, but then talking to other people in direct messaging and voice messages and Brandon's groups that he takes care of, it's really tough, but it's worth it. And I don't know. I'm happy for you to be here. And right now, I gotta have like tissues
Dude, I
next to me.
could
Let's,
never
I
dream
hate to
up.
be like this. I got tears flowing out of my eyes for every time I talk to one of you guys on here.
Yeah, bro, because you're an awesome guy. That's why this happened to you. You know what I mean? That's what people need to understand about this too. Is like we actually have to spin this, and we have to become Jedi's off of this because it only
Yeah,
happened. This polar challenge and opposition. Einstein's got this great quote that great spirits have always experienced violent opposition from mediocre minds. So, it
yeah.
takes one to know one. Like I see everything about that quote in you. That's what you see. It takes one to know one. It
I
takes one to
see you.
even see it. You know what I mean? And
I
it's
see you
like I
too.
never would have imagined because you would never saw a person who hated humanity more during that time. And I never would have
Yeah,
imagined that through the internet, because I was okay, because just so you guys know, these kidnapping, brainwashing child abusers, they stalk us with hate harassment while they do it. That's real clear cut symptom right there if it exists. Some of them are really crafty and they make fake email addresses to hit you with. And then later your IT2 tech from the Navy says, oh, I can trace that, send them to me. And then, oh, look, now it is very evident, it's very clear, but still, the system is actually set up to screw the man. It's a big, like, we don't need to keep the fat on the meat anymore. Look at what's going on in the world. We're dealing with principalities and all that. That's what we're dealing with. So just
yeah,
figure out, get to that point, and then you start to see, oh, okay, wreck the family unit, take the hero out, totally child abuse, the worst psychological, spiritual, reaching into their soul and jacking them as the one person they're supposed to be able to trust daily for a decade. In this poor kid's case, while she's got this crazy Jedi adventure that she completely missed out from, she would be a Jedi, right? But it's this
mhm.
modern society of the construct that man has made, and I can really go crazy talk on us real here, right here. Here's the no, but I mean in the
I got you.
construct where it's toxic
Yeah,
substance, toxic information, toxic family court system,
yeah,
toxic culture. These witches get together at drunken dance fests and exchange information about how to wreck
yeah,
these dudes get paid. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
what?
yeah,
What? And the Catch Me Outside girl was making $50 million. Great, except that
yeah,
your soul, except that the principality thing, you just what? You know what I mean? And to see that kind of horrible effect be done when the person doesn't even know what's going on by an adult. Like I said, I could totally do this child abuse to a kid. I would never fucking do this child abuse to a kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's sickos out there, and you need to recognize them. This is culturally not okay. This should be known as the worst child trafficking thing. All these lawyers and judges, they're professionals. They're officers of courts. There's no ill. You didn't do your. You don't know. You know exactly what y'all are buying new spokes on your already tricked out BMW with off the extending. Weep them and reap them. That's their industry term. They extend cases to extend paychecks. They're all in child abuse racket at the lawyer judge level. So I'm an
That's
honorably
what I call
served
it
vet
too.
too. Yeah, I'm an honorably
What I
served
call it
vet
too,
too. I will
trafficking.
never
It's
come back to the
trafficking.
States. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, no, I want to hear that. But I just was saying it. I agree. It's trafficking. They're trafficking humans or trafficking children. That's for money. The police departments are helping it. They're part of it's all part of a process. There's a lot of things naturally, and it sucks for me because guys want to look up to who's protecting everybody. Oh, the police, the soldiers. But it sucks when the police are our only line of defense to uphold the Constitution, and they're telling you can't see your kid. Well, what I don't, you could go chase the bad guy. Cool. I like living in the United States. You go get a bad guy,
Well,
fine.
yeah,
But if I don't get to
but
see my
that
kid, what is it worth here?
and that's why
Right?
everybody watching this, we need you to become a Jedi. It actually is one of the worst damages of a child abuse. So that means it's a worse child abuse. And again, it's happening directly from the one person that they should be able to trust, who, by the way, is not going to be able to help themselves if you all keep allowing this to go on. And if you're standing by, you're part of it. If you know and you're standing by, you're part of it. This should be prosecuted by the law. There are laws about this. Family court should just be completely dissolved. I love what everyone's doing. I love your video, a couple videos back where you're like, no, this is like an 80-20 thing. You're softening it. That's what parental alienation is doing. It's softening it. And it is, man, the perfect child abuse in that respect that all the kids have Elizabeth Smart syndrome. They all say,
Yeah.
I'm not being abused. These freaks are, I love them. I'm protecting them. I'm on their team. My actual good parents are the bad ones. Just like Elizabeth
Yeah.
Smart. They all have that. So it's this really horrible child abuse that we need you to recognize and you to step out and be like, yo, this is horrible child abuse what you're doing, and it's freaking insane, and I'm not going to freaking live next to this shit, and I can recognize exactly what's going on, and somebody needs, but unfortunately even the child protective services could be a worse ending for this poor
Yeah.
kid. So once again,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a United States veteran. I'm honorably served. I did an excellent job. I trained 10,000 guys on the way out of everything from captain on down. Okay, and I'm not coming back to the United States until the family court is abolished, until that CPS, all the DCSC money off their head, all these things are completely wiped out, and they rebuild a completely new thing, because you're not going to reform a child abuser. We already know this. You're going to have to
Yeah.
do, as Buckminster Fuller tells us, you're going to have to build a new system, rendering that old system obsolete. And that's it,
Yes.
brought to you by American fathers. That's the answer. You get rid of all of that stuff because it is a human rights violation. It's not constitutional. You can't get a jury. It's a racket with the lawyers. You don't get nothing provided. Okay. And they just gouge you in private. It's set up to destroy families. It's satanic.
It is. It is. It's a complete
Yeah.
conflict of interest to have people in there charging thousands of dollars who have an interest in drawing out a case. And then that Title 4D pays federal money to the state. And I think to the county and even the judge for, okay, if you sign child support, money's going to the state and these organizations. And then how do you guarantee the child support? With the silver bullet, with the domestic violence restraining order and domestic violence charges. So, oh, hey, we'll just push that on through, and then we'll set up the police departments to be able to, just take him. Do anything she says, even if you don't have a lot of evidence, just do it, do it. And that's why I say it's extremely dishonorable what they're doing there. Aside from the good parts that are a part of it or should be a part of it, it's extremely dishonorable. They're streamlining it. Every piece to that puzzle is a streamlined to hell. But you're
Perfect
completely right
word.
on. And what real quick too to bring up as far as there's a lot of platforms that I'm support every one that I can for
Yeah.
American Fathers is Saturdays 2 p.m. Pacific time. Sometimes I can get my guests here. Brandon's busy. He's helping a lot of people even in his local area and on the internet. So I encourage anybody to ask me about that to show up. I get a new link. I'll send it out on the weekends, and you might get a chance to listen to Brandon talk more if he gets time to drop in there from time to time. And that's a place where I don't post it on YouTube. I record it for everybody's safety to cover my ass, to cover your ass in case anything crazy happens. But in a safe and responsible way, I need people like that. We all do because I don't have all the answers myself. But when we all
Well,
come together,
and if you're on the front end of losing your child in this way, and you're in the months to 7 years out window of going through this, you really need to do this for yourself and for
mhm.
this and for the possibility of future relations and everything. Because a lot of lessons have been learned, a lot of mistakes have been made. No doubt, there's a lot of sticky situations, and not every attempt, not every thing is going to work in every case, and it may not. It may be. I mean, if there is a vicious witch that you are not able to separate the child from, I don't know what the strategy is, but a group like that could also innovate something
Yeah,
there.
and that you go to war with a multitude of counselors. I not one of us will have all the answers. And I think I find some relationship with Brandon on, I can't, and Brandon may know more than me, but I can't go in there and be your lawyer. I can't go in there and give you all these extra strategies. I will help pull resources together, but I think what Brandon's been through and what I've been through is I also want to, without doom and gloom, I want to prepare guys to say, hey, dude, are you ready to get completely annihilated in there? You need to survive that because I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I pray it doesn't. I'll support it not to, but it happens and it's happening to the majority. So you got to be able to
Well,
be
man,
ready
I
for it
can.
and know what to do.
Yeah, out in nature, you build this thing called intuition. Some people use whatever mouth sounds. I don't know. It could even start to be telepathic. And I look at you, my bro, John, and I see a future because you're the right guy. You keep your discipline, you keep your professionalism. You've still got other kids. I'm in a unique situation as well where the witchcraft on my child was super brutal, number one. Number two, I don't have other kids that speak English and my immediate responsibility. And I'm really lucky that I've been able to have an excellent impact on lots of kids down here.
Yeah.
What I was getting at though is I really see, as I said before, fathers who lose their kid in such torturous, horrible ways. You're going out, you're going to be lost, like Aaron Roberts, our mutual good friend, was just lost by this. He couldn't watch the child torture, and the witch sunk the teeth in because she knew it was going to kill him. They want you to die. I died 15 years ago the same way. I had my life saved, and I would just happen to be proud to tell you today that I stayed valiantly by the problem child who saved my life, no matter what she goes through, always. And something incredible has been cultivated here, and that's what I see with your group is facing the most strongest challenges that exist in the world. We can become the most strongest people. All challenges, opportunities build strength. So we become the strongest Jedi people, and what we do to not only do the right thing and tell the truth every single day and become valiant and cross over, right? But we do what's necessary in this situation, and we fight this horrible child abuse system wherever with everything that we've got. And I can say, John, I've already seen is 1000% a radar detector for who is authentic and who is not. and has the ability to pull together the right group of people that make that small elite move and really, I mean, culturally, it's wide open. I don't know if you're going to change satanic government policy, but culturally, any woman, any tool of the system who uses their kid to wreck the X and get the checks, you do not realize what horrible, hose beast, child abusing person you have in your midst. 50 Cent's oldest kid's mother is dancing on Instagram right now. This is ridiculous. This is daily child abuse. And if you look at this kid who had the most Jedi adventure we would all love to learn from, you know,
Yeah.
he's sitting here entitled genius kid.
Yeah.
That is horrific to do to a person. And now he's never going to trust anyone trustworthy. He's going to fall in
Yeah.
every pitfall. He's going to trust untrustworthy people. And then he's going to miss every single opportunity because his fucking wires are crossed. And it was because of that lady who should be in jail for the rest of her life.
That's a good point. That it's even with money, even with all the money, we're looking at like 50 Cent, what are some of the other ones? Well, look at
Ben,
Kanye and the richest man in the world. Here we have the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. You can
oh,
have
really?
it's an example. You can have endless money and you're still fighting a system that's going to make you lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Einstein went through it too. And remember our
Oh,
quote here, all great spirits experience violent opposition from mediocre minds. Unfortunately, some of those mediocre minds chase us down, stick hooks in us, lie to us, manipulate us, gaslight us. We think they're the best thing in the world. They trap us and they try to dominate us rather than cultivate us. And then we say later, but this narcissistic personality person, that's the number one download the Matrix wants you to get, the principalities want you to get, right? NPC and MPD. So you get that, and then you're soulless, and you're just part of the big black hole problem. And you even take down heroes and take down the valiant guy. Like you guys are the dragons. And I spent enough time in nature to know that the spiritual thing is real, real. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I can't see how a person who's not over here is not exactly what they're talking about the body of people who are not going to make it. And they're going to go to hell. And why would you
Yeah.
do that when there's an opportunity to be a beautiful soul, help everybody else out of the fire, become a beautiful soul, be a nuclear chain reaction like that? I mean, I feel bad for the witch and all the flying monkeys. How do you live like that? I
Yeah.
would never be foolish enough
Yeah.
to be recruited into some stupid child abuse scandal because I watch too many Netflix shows. That's a big contributor.
Yeah. Yeah. Every
My
video is
mother
the
was a
power.
child abuser. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say video is the most powerful marketing out there. That's why it's all over all this horrible part of internet, social media, movies, since the first movies that they were making, that's how you change the way people behave. I want to ask you, like, getting into like where your life is now, and you're out there, you're in Panama, and
Yeah.
I see you around beautiful people. You make people smile out there. You're dedicated to your community. I can imagine the strength that you are, the backbone in your area. Can you share a little bit about like your life right now and include your own physical fitness program that you do yourself, how you set that up to help others, and a little bit about your life, where you are now. I mean, I can see around you, it's beautiful. I love seeing
Yeah.
your content and listening to you talk, and the people that he's walking the streets showing the people around him every day. He's like an angel's a perfect word. He's like an angel walking around out there. And it sucks that we go through what we do, but it's also interesting to see the way God places people like Brandon's was needed there. And look at who
Oh,
he is and what he's
and like I
doing.
said,
So
there's a whole tribe of Jerry Springer people out there that will tell you all this other shit. He's like, yo,
yeah,
it's on video. It's on
yeah,
video. Like, how can you? continue this. You're thousands of miles away and it's on video, but people, they've got to live their fantasy when they're too weak to live
Yeah,
real, to take
yeah.
on that hard work and fear that you don't want to go into that place. Eleanor Roosevelt, there's the name, says,
Mhm.
do something that scares you twice a day. I say
Yeah.
three times rule, you know?
Yeah. So
And
when
then,
you get up in the morning out there and dude, I let me tell you, Brandon, when I see him work out, when I see him like hitting the ground doing push-ups, burpees, pull-ups, like I'm almost scared a little bit, like holy shit, this guy, and it's his spirit. You got to go through a lot of stuff. I don't know, to be completely honest, that's what I see and I watch your stuff. I'm like, dang. And but his spirit's just shining and he gets on and talks and he shows. I really got to stress the point that I see the people that are around him when he's sharing his life out there and he's sharing his stories on Instagram and videos. It looks beautiful. And to see someone who's been through so much pain and still deals with it every second of the day, the beauty that he turns around and shines everywhere around him. So like how does your
yeah,
day go out
thank
there?
you,
How does
man.
your day
Thank you
go?
for
Who are the
saying
people
that.
that are around you?
Bro, I look out for several little kids. It's crazy. Like me, my dad, my uncle, we're all
Yeah.
abused kids, and we all have all these other kids that aren't ours that we've been looking out for constantly. I did this in Philly. I've done this in Albuquerque. I did it my whole life. I've had two or three kids on the couch somewhere, and they're all eating with me, and they're just runaways or something. But because that's
Yeah.
that's the situation I was in, and I was taken in by lots of guys. So I would break out of the group home and go stay over here because never mind those places, right? As much as if you can get away, if you can
Yeah.
get out of them, some of them are straight juvie jails. So that's how I came up. My dad came up hard. My uncle came up hard. They look out for kids. That problem child I mentioned earlier, she looks out for these two other little kids. I would kind of team up to look out for those two little kids who have a seriously abusive father and an excellent grandfather who's coming right around. So yeah, I've had all kinds of rich experiences. I helped out one guy. He went and did a 5 year prison term, and he when I first got out here to one of these spots, he knew it was like you, dude. It takes one to know one. He knew right away that there was something to me, and so he was right away giving me very high class treatment. And he was the king of the island at that time, as far as cool culture and activity and everything. So
Yeah.
then he got hemmed up and did a 5 year prison sentence. And when he got out, this is a real grimy vacation environment, and there's been a lot of education robbed from people here, from conquistador to dictator. All this abuse has gone on. So what they do is they render within us a small jealous minded mentality so that we cannot unite into these little elite units that I'm talking about, right? That we hate each other and we tear each other down like a bunch of stupid crabs in the barrel. No, I will see a crab in the barrel from a mile away, and he's not going to get anywhere near anything that I've got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Respect that
I'm
about
very,
you.
yeah. So I'm very, very selective. I'm brutal and select, but I also hold my word. I don't ever. I'm happy if you've got 10 steps less disciplined than me. You know what I mean? Because right, I'm that's fine, that's acceptable, but less, no. And so we all need to be in our relative places, and we need to earn them, and we need to take them seriously. We need to care enough. We need to, hey, break through the trap, kiddo. Get away from the witch and get yourself the Jedi adventure. Be respectful. Go hang out with another Jedi. Then tell 50 Cent, I want to hang out with the most like you person I could to try to iron out as many conflicts. I realize what has happened to me. I want to fix this. You know what I mean? Man, no Jedi is going to know the situation that interpersonally and really turn it down until you stop saying, yes, Captain, and start being some stupid entitled genius and fuck up the opportunity for yourself, dumb. You know what I mean? That's the thing. If they can gas your ego up, make you jealous of other people, okay, so that has been successfully implemented in this area well. And but yes, I would like to think that that character example I've tried to lay down has responded with those diamonds out here, right? And now there's a little collection of them around here. And dude, all throughout my life, even if I'm interpreting what I just described wrong, I have had angels, dude, all over the place. I'm sure most of them I can't see. I mean, I'm sure plenty that I can't see, but definitely plenty that I can see. And no doubt I've had demons all over me, bro, since day one. My own mother, fucking demon, dude. A lot of people don't
Me too,
realize
man.
it.
Me
She's
too.
got tons of, listen, she's got
Yeah.
tons of church pews convinced that that's not the situation. However, the best liars got sheep's clothing really well put together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine too. I've had a difficult time. It took me a long time to even realize and learn a lot about that as I became more of an adult. I still learn more every day looking back, like, dang, I didn't even realize that I had kind of been going through that, you know?
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but like you said, it just these struggles become strengths. I'm happy to see and follow. Brandon's one of those people I try to go check in on and really listen to what he's saying because he's growing too. He's been doing
We're
fantastic
all
for
growing.
years. And I see new things happening. I see new messages coming from Brandon that's like, yeah, man, that's why I was so glad to get a hold of you here today.
Oh, dude,
And
I'm 1000% growing cognated. Yes, if I am here to learn. I would like to think that most of my interactions I actually speak very little. I'm always trying to ask questions and learn from the people. I'm really happy. I feel honorable to speak with you. I feel like well selection as far as the small elite unit. I feel very we've got some time in the foxhole, right? So we kind of know, and now it's kind of time, and there's enough of this. You know what I mean? And now Satan wants to dig his claws in. All right, Jedi's, we're the toughest ones because we could lose our kids to witchcraft. You know what I mean? Like nobody can do that. That's a worst nightmare. Like hurt me, shoot at me. Don't use my kid to hurt me.
yeah,
That's what, right? So if you can withstand that, then you have been called to the Jedi. You're a potential to be some of the most amazing, miracle, bright, shining individuals that we have in this satanic time where there's plenty of dragons to be getting after, And so if you combine, if you, because the other way you go out you're gonna die, you're gonna become drug addicted, you're gonna lose a decade, you know what I mean? Or you can buckle down. This is what I wish I would have done. I did. I did die. I did become drug addicted. I did lose a decade, but if I
yeah,
could go, yeah, if you could go back and look or just some people can do it naturally, but those of us who are just completely in love with their kids, who maybe didn't never have family, like, yeah, there's no way this is never gonna not be my family.
yeah,
But
yeah,
and then you're like you've seriously invested so much, and then they do something like this, and it just tears your soul right out of you,
I'm
and
glad that we can. I'm glad you got a chance to see the energy coming through the messages here and what Brandon. It's very clear. I'm glad we could share it because there's going to be people that come here that want to learn and want to listen and they haven't felt it. God forbid, they haven't been through it, but they get to take it in and hopefully spread some of that knowledge. Like you said, once they witness it, they could say something and call it out and say, "I'm not putting up with this," and help a child more than even helping the parents. You help the child and not put up with it because it's a reputation issue and more people are okay with it that if when people are when a group of people are okay with a horrible behavior, then the worst imaginable things will happen and can continue to happen. But your let me see your page. I want to just I don't know if you'll be able to see it too well. I'm going to share my screen real quick, jump over and show
okay.
your
Here you go.
Instagram. Let me see
I'll show you one of these too.
let me see.
We got some work going on, man. I got 5 days to get a month's worth of stuff done.
The same.
So
I could agree with that in a lot of a lot of levels. Right here,
yeah,
it didn't show up. I had an
what
issue
happened?
with my recording before, but I'll screenshot it and add it in, but I can talk about it because me and Brandon can see it that it's this is his Instagram right here. Brandon Angel Fitness. And go here and follow, get a hold of him here, talk to him. You see things you resonate with, you want to learn more about him and listen. Look at all these, look at him speaking here. He's got a lot going on. It's well, I didn't again, let me see. It's not letting me continue because I'm not signed in, but this is his Instagram. And then let me do stop share.
Well, check this out too. We've got these supplements, man, like this one right here,
There
this
we go.
ashwagandha. This
Yeah.
stuff is strong. This is nutritionaldiversity.com. But we've got
Okay.
everything magnesium glyphosate, pre workout, nutritionaldiversity.com. If you can do it naturally in the jungle, I've seen it heal everything from PTSD to colon conditions that sound very serious that you wouldn't even believe. I've seen everything. you, if I tell you too much, it's like, whoa. But yeah, I've seen everything's definitely going to improve, and you should explore an all natural, God given diet before you go into any of these hardcore things like chemo and
Yeah.
all your hair out and all that kind of thing, right? You should
Yes.
try to see if you can get the Genesis 129 high enough diversity of paying attention to wild game, however, which way you want to chop it, right? But what I figured out is, oh wow, I I eat this extremely diverse spectrum of living plant foods out in the jungle, right out from underneath the sun. And my thought power is back. You know what I mean? Because I went from somebody who couldn't pull up to the target without hitting it right in the bullseye over and over and over and over again to someone who could not pull up to the target and know he was going to miss. Like I'm never going to hit the target. I'm just in such a, whatever you want to call this condition, I can't do anything. And I definitely can't be around another human being because all I want to do is tear their freaking head off and kick it down the street. Like it was that bad, you know? And so, and I hated it and I couldn't change it. And I'd be laughing and talking with the guys and they'd pull me aside, man, I love you, but we can feel it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And,
It's a cool thing to experience. That's why I want to share in the best way possible that Brandon, it's a beautiful thing about men and especially men that get to become fathers, the time what they could be, what they go through, and what they decide to do in spite of the pain they've been through. Because Brandon's one of those people. If he wanted to, he could tear the world apart. A lot of men are like that, but instead he's walking around like an angel around the people he's around and God's had multiple other kids in his life like they do that are around him out there now in the country that he's in. They don't even know it's like walking around with somebody that's like Rambo that is instead controlling himself, smiling and giving God's working right through him, saying, "Hey, this
yeah,
man is one of the special people out there and he's
yeah,
shining."
I'm not a tough guy. I don't want to hurt anything. I'm not going to hurt
Yeah.
anything. In fact, if
Yeah.
I didn't hurt anything during that thing, I'm not going to
Then
hurt anything. And I don't
yeah.
want to hurt anything. I know
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sick of seeing things get hurt now. You know what I mean? And so my only role is to get in between the hurters and the hurted, and whether they know it or not, wow, that's some Jedi stuff I never imagined just stumbling around inside of. But I want to try to do a better job at it going forward, and I want to do a better job of letting go. Have to. Some of us are going to lose our most loved person to the dark side. Does that mean you go into the dark side too? Because their best version, had they not fallen, would actually not want to see that, you know? And so you got to keep that in mind that, this is a cycle. I have seen the cycle on all sides of my family, and there are people that have the strength to break that cycle and they become Jedi's and they have excellent life and they get surrounded by rich, excellent people and experience that's just like them that they deserve in this life and in the next. Or you're going to be a Jerry Springer person or a rapper person or one of these JD, some kind of dispensation from the principalities. And your commitment to those kinds of identities is the exact reason that you have a Jerry Springer life. And the demons want you to have a Jerry Springer life. They want you to have that. That is what they want you to have. It's become very clear to me, and so those are the things we're avoiding if we're going to be Jedi's as a baby step base level. And from there up, with all the burpees and the fitness and the nutritional diversity diet and the relationship with God and the relationship with nature, the realest world that we've ever been blessed with, and actual appreciation for it, because it loves us all patiently, all super deep. And we just ignore that whole thing and miss that whole thing. And I think right there, if you can step into that, even the most Elizabeth Smart syndromed kids out there, if you can step into that, you can free your mind. And again, I just want a cultivator, just wants a true person, a genuine, authentic person, just wants you to be free and strong. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's all right. Can you tell me the name of your YouTube channel again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the one I did some experimenting. So
Oh,
Psychoschematics is the
okay.
YouTube
No, that's all
channel
right.
that
That's okay. Yeah,
and
no, no.
nutritional diversity. That's the revolution, eloquently disguised as gardening.
Yeah, because sometimes you get on there, and that's a good point because I have had so many Instagram channels. I've tried to start a bunch of businesses. I've had many failures, and the only reason I kind of had a falling out with somebody just yesterday and this morning who I feel bad because I think and I don't blame him, but I think it came from a place of insecurity. He was kind of looking at me as if I have a bunch, or if I grew my channel really quick in the past month. That didn't just come because I'm gifted or I'm given things. I'm struggling. I have books behind, those are IKEA shelves. This isn't like a mansion I'm living in. I mean, I'm not this, I don't have a bunch of nice stuff. I'm behind on my rent, like all kinds of stuff. It's not what I don't know people who don't know me may not know Brandon. It might appear to be something else, but that's not always it. I encourage you, ask the
I can
questions.
see you're a real one. I can see you're a real one. The rest,
Like it's not. But what I was saying is the words that we're speaking. The When we go out there for a workout, we've done 10,000 workouts, and I wasn't just born somebody that likes to go do squats. I'll tell you, I don't like them, but we got this from years and years and years of trial and error, and experimentation helps. You got to try stuff and you fail. Sometimes I make myself look like an ass, and this is a part of wisdom. And I respect the people that come out and say, hey, man, that was I disagree with that, right? And I might disagree again, or I like to heed correction and rebuke and say, okay, I have some introspection here. I can change this, I can fix this, but it didn't come from nowhere. I might be posting on YouTube or doing some fun edits with my fitness page. Yeah, how
yeah.
many times Brandon actually saw the page I had before this one, and it had a different name before even American Fathers. It used to be called High Activity Fitness. He saw me posting stupid workout video. They're not really stupid because you're growing, but they're kind of like stupid workout videos that didn't really get the message
No,
across. I kind of
no.
look goofy. I try to talk and it's horrible. I'm just not just gifted these things. We've
Video
worked on it.
making.
We've worked
Yeah,
on it.
no,
I know Brandon. We've known each other for a few years, and we've worked on it. This is something that you just have to have some courage. And guys like us will say, "Hey, that's okay." And I'm gonna like your post. I'm gonna share your post. I'm gonna repost it. I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna share it in
cool.
my stories as far as social media stuff. I'm gonna do what I can because I know what it's like, and I'm not. We got here because it took a long time to get where we're at, and there's a long road ahead of us. But we got your YouTubes, nutritionaldiversity.com, nutritional diversity. After this, I'll find the links and I'm gonna put them in the comments, pinned in the comments. How to get a hold of Brandon. The psychoschematics page is Instagram. And anything else after this, because this will take a few days after, because I've got a bunch of interviews going on pretty soon to get this posted up. And then if you
Cool.
can't find Brandon, reach out to me, say, hey, I want to talk to that guy. if you want to support Brandon in any way, or just bounce things off the wall with him, build a friendship, join his team and his coaching, hit the links, ask me about it. And then Brandon, I'd love to have you back again in the future. And I'd love to have you,
Definitely.
if we get blessed with your time in any of the group calls, they're always going to be there. That's what I'm trying to dedicate to do, to just have that available, that Brandon, people that are in these interviews can show up and keep sharing some more of their wisdom. So I appreciate your energy that you've given us today, because it costs a lot more than money to come in here and talk about these things. And I'm sure you're going to do the same, like I said, to go out after this conversation and decompress, probably get some sunlight, have some silence, put good things in our body, and make good choices for the rest of the day, know how to process some of the things that we're going through. And man, I appreciate you being here. I got your screen froze up on me though. I'm going to hang out. Let me see if I can catch you. I got your screen froze up. Oh no, we lost him. I'm going to see if he can get back in here, and then we'll close it out. If not, I mean every word I say. Brandon, man, thing's got my face red this whole entire time, because it is highly, emotional, and we didn't even get into a lot of detail, but every word he said was very important, and means a lot to me. And I know it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people that get in here. I think he's coming back in. Good, we're still here. We're still here, Brandon. See if we can get him back in here real quick to close out before I end this interview. But man, I can't express that stuff enough, how important this is to me, how important these people are. And these people, they're out there, they're around us. You don't know what people are going through. You don't even see this type of realm that we're all living in until you kind of go through it yourself, or you get old enough to realize, oh, you went through that when you were a kid. God forbid. But I want to hang out for a second, see if I can get Brandon back in here with me before I end this one. No rush, Brandon. I don't see you or hear you yet, but I can see that you're in here. I'm gonna hang out and wait for you. See if we can get some connection
Oh,
before we finish.
wow.
Got you back. I didn't
Yeah,
leave.
yeah.
I'm right
Hey,
here. I'm right
that's
here.
fine.
We got
That's
you.
fine.
We're still
Yeah.
here. I'm glad you came right back in. You got the link, and good.
Hopefully
I
it
kept
stays. We'll see.
It's okay. No, everything's saved on my end, and I
Okay,
wanted to wait.
super.
I thought you'd be coming back, so I just kept talking about how much I appreciate your time here today, and hoping that you got to show back up real quick before we close out. Is there
Right on,
anything
dude.
else you'd like to share?
No,
Thank you
I
so much
mean,
for being here.
yeah, just and in this angelic time or evil time and this volume turned up epoch, really very clearly special time, where we've got these opportunities to either become part of the problem or overcome problems constantly, like true Jedis. And so I just want to encourage everybody to get strong, get tough, be able to let go, be unattached to outcomes and other people, do good, tell the truth, do the right thing, live a rich life with other rich people aligned with God and goodness, and look for an opportunity to do some extremely miraculous stuff. I mean, we could putt around and be good people. I'm going to try to do something bigly good and make God super proud. I want to have waves. I see what this child abuse pyramid of family court has done to all these kids. You know what I mean? I think it's an excellent, or whatever, however way. But there's things you can do, And I'm sorry to say that, but when it
Okay.
comes to child abusers and you find that, okay, I'm so lucky. I come from Albuquerque, New Mexico in the 90s before they took their number one TV show in the world and all this other conspiratorial crap that we can see clear as day that ruined our culture. And that's what it was made to do, because they said, hey, look at these Spartans. They don't let no child abuse go on in those neighborhoods. The child
Yeah.
abuser in those neighborhoods gets dealt with way properly, you know? let's change that. And so I'm very thankful that I grew up in an environment where people had zero tolerance for child abuse. And I encourage you to be part of an environment just like that, because you will be seriously empowering kids. No Custo Amato, no Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson could have gone on in an abuse situation and never become anything, but because somebody decided to be a Custo Amato, decided. So you got to, I am deciding to do as much as I possibly can to look out for some of these unfortunate kids and tell some of these unfortunate truths and do the right thing and pick up the bat and smash the freaking nails in whatever way I can that's appropriate in this epoch when it comes to this dragon called family court, called recta executive checks, called parental alienating, called whatever mouse sound you want to put on it. It's child abuse.
Yeah, that's what it is. Extreme child abuse and extreme psychological abuse to the dads, man, what they go through. And so I thank you for being a part of supporting the protectors out there.
I
You're a
thank
good
you,
leader.
dude. I thank
Thank you.
you.
You're a good leader for that. And again, get a hold of Brandon. The links are going to be pinned in the comments, and I'm sure he'll be back again in the near future as this continues to grow. More people come to gather here, and I get more views. And I'm gonna bring him back to, hey, you got to listen to this guy. Everybody that's new here, I want you to listen to these
Likewise.
people, to Brandon. So we'll end it right
I'm
there, man.
behind you, man, for sure.
Thank you so much for your time, and we're gonna catch you on the next one. God bless you.
Who